Hey dreamers, this is Jade. Welcome back to my channel. I am here to share my April reading spreads with you all, or all the books that I read in April. Now, the ones that I enjoyed the most will get a complete 2-page spread. However, the other ones that I didn't like as much will just get a half-page blurb. And so I am starting out with One Piece. I did read the second omnibus volume, which includes volumes 4, 5, and 6. So that definitely added to my count of the things that I read this month, which in April I read a whole lot of stuff, but I will count or give credit to this, first of all, this manga, which are very easy to get through. So I got 3 volumes of that in, and then I think I did 3 audiobooks as well. And so that definitely contributed to the amount of books that I ended up reading in April, which was 11, which is slightly over what I typically read. I typically get in, I would say, about 7 to 8 books during a month. So yeah, that was fun, but it has taken a lot of time to document everything, especially considering that May has been super busy for me. Um, First of all, I was dealing with some stuff with my car. It was time to buy out the lease, and so back and forth, trying to figure that out, negotiating this, that, and the third, getting loan, all that kind of stuff. It just took up a lot of my time, and then I went out of town to see my sister, and also go to a Craig David. If you know, you know, a Craig David concert, which was thebomb.com. And then currently now I'm back home, but my sister is visiting here. So been a lot going on in May and other stuff that I'm not even going to get into, but yeah. So I am decorating. I started by putting down like a little mat piece just because in their world, the world is similar to ours. However, One Piece is very pirate centric, of course, so it's a lot of sailing on the seas, and then they stop off at different islands and stuff like that. And so I'm just kind of trying to represent that with the map. And then they do have of course, a money system. However, it is not dollars; it is berries, which I think is cute. And so yeah, I'm getting the information down of what the book is, and so of course the author is Ichiro Oda. Can you believe these books and this show has been going on for 25 years now? I just discovered it in September because of the live action, and I am infatuated. This is all I think about nowadays. I'm not gonna say all, but it takes up a lot of brain space for me lately because it is such a good story, and I'm not even through the entire story yet. So yeah, anyway, I was saying the author was Ichiro Oda. Genre, I would say adventure because it is pirates. They are going on adventures, yada yada yada. Publisher, Viz Media. It was published in 2010. Series One Piece 4 through 6. My rating, of course, was 5 stars, and the format that I read this in is the physical format. So I do have the physical format for the Omnibus 1, 2, and I have 3 in my stash ready to read. I need to go ahead and get some more of the omnibuses. I do believe that Crunchyroll has a deal where if you buy $50 worth of books, you get shipping free. So I may go ahead and just do that and get the next few volumes if they are available. So we'll see. Anyway, again with the decorating, I wanted to feature the characters that were prevalent in this story, and so of course you have up top there Cloudor or Captain Kuro, and then Usopp, because this is Usopp's story. We ended with Usopp in the 3rd volume, and this is the continuation mostly of his story. You will get the beginning of Sanji's story as well. That is the one thing that's most endearing about this book, and this, and they will, or I would say this story, period. Um, when you go back and delve further into the characters' stories and things, they are so interesting, and so some of them are so tragic and sad, and then you just are amazed at the people that they have become and the things that they get into and want to do and the motivation and dreams that they have, despite having come from such tragic circumstances. And so yeah, um, Usopp, sad backstory with him. However, there is some light at the end of the tunnel. There are some things that I'm hoping happens with Usopp, it hasn't happened yet so far from the amount of story that I have consumed. As I said, though, it is not the entire story, but it's maybe halfway through, I would say. I think we are in the thousands as far as the cartoons go, as far as the anime goes. And I've gotten to like 516 as far as the shows. Now, I need to get into the rest. I actually was at the airport and this guy showed me a free way to watch any anime that I wanted to watch. I will not be sharing that um, because I don't want to get into any kind of trouble or whatever. But I think that I may, just to avoid like ads and all kinds of crap, end up getting Crunchyroll. But anyway, as I said, I wanted to feature like the prevalent characters in this, and so yeah, I have Usopp down there or whatever, and then I'm putting like a little blue thing I got from Yellow Paper House down to just write something quick about like those characters that I am featuring here. So you have Krito, Usopp, and then over here Sanjay. And then I took a few pages from the actual anime that I really enjoyed, the scenes that I liked. And this scene is, of course, the first entry. First of all, can we, when I move my hand, look, can we see how smooth and cool that Hawkeye Mihawk is? Now, in the anime, they call Dracula Mihawk. Mostly they call him Hawkeye. So I was curious as to why they went with Dracula in the live action. Once I got very familiar with the anime, because he's mostly referred to as Hawkeye Mihawk in the anime. So really curious about that. But anyway, he is just so cool. I love his character and the way he came in, the entrance of him, and everything. And then, of course, you can barely see it on here. But the one that says, like, Doom after, not Doom. Um, I think, well, it might not. It does say Doom as well. But anyway, the one under Hawkeye Mihawk features Zoro. Because there's a whole thing. Zoro, of course, wants to be the greatest swordsman. And Hawkeye Mihawk is currently the greatest swordsman. So there is a whole thing that goes down with him and Hawkeye Mihawk during Sanji's story. And so, yeah, it's such an engaging and interesting thing that happens. But it just goes to show that although Zoro wants to be the greatest swordsman, he is not quite there yet. However, he is very strong, very skilled, and he's not going to do anything but get stronger and more skilled. And it's going to be a thing, and it's going to be beautiful, and I love to see it. And I love a swordsman. Okay, I love a swordsman, so I am here for it. Zoro is one of my favorites. Anyway, that wraps up this book, and then I will be moving on to the next one. So the next book that I am going to feature here is Take Me at Twilight by Lisa Kleypas. This is the third in the Hathaway series. So it features Poppy, who is the third sister. I enjoy her story. However, I will say, even though I gave it 4 stars, I did not like her story as much as I've liked all of the other siblings in this group of Hathaways here. And so I'm using stickers from the Hall of Illusions sticker book because I felt like it kind of gave the same theme of the 1800s as far as the stickers and images that are in there. I'm using this book page here just for some visual interest or whatever, and so I get that done and I will split that just so it's not stressing the spine there. I have lettered out Take Me in Twilight. I could not find a color that matched the color on the book cover that wasn't too thick, and so I just used this one, and I was like, we're gonna have to go with it. We're gonna have to roll with it. I tried to kind of also match the font there, but I don't know how well I did. Anyway, I'm getting out the information written down here. As I said, I think I ended up rating, I pretty much rated this 4 stars. I do believe Seduce Me at the other one, Sunrise, I can't remember, was 4 stars as well. Maybe this should have been 3.5 because really enjoyed that other one better than this, even though I really enjoyed this one as well. Anyway, getting that down, and then at the bottom there, I will decorate with some washi tape, and then this girl from the 1800s, and then I use my AI Bing generator to do Harry. Anyway, so we meet Harry and Poppy. Poppy is running after her sister Spirit, who has stolen her letter from this guy who wants to court her, and she ends up running into Harry in his room of oddities, and he is pretty much taken with her from the start. And so it is a dance back and forth. He is very ruthless in the way that he gets Poppy, and when she figures out what happens, she's really not happy about it, and so she kind of ices him out. And I think that's the thing that, I mean, as well she should. Now, it was very deserved, okay? I will say that. However, I will also say that I felt like the romance or the angst, the something in the story just kind of flagged for me, and that's probably why I did not enjoy this one as much. It wasn't as angsty. I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, I am doing some shadows here on the script, the writing, or whatever, or the title, and that will pretty much wrap this up, and I will move on to the next one. So, yeah, pretty good story. As I said, the angst or the romance kind of flagged for me. They kind of got back to it towards the end of the book, so I still really enjoyed it. Yeah, and there is of course, I did what do you call this here? A quote from the book that I wanted to highlight there. And it just says, perhaps she mused, it wasn't so much that Harry was being altered as he was being revealed, layer by layer, the defenses cutting off. Perhaps Harry was becoming, or would become in time, the man he had always meant to be, because he had finally found someone who mattered. And so, yeah. Now I am finally documenting my favorite book of the month. This will not be the last one I document. However, it was absolutely my favorite. So I'm auditioning cardstock here, deciding, can I talk? Deciding whether I want to use blue, red, or black here. And ultimately, I decide that the black looks the best when I'm doing that. So I round the corner there, and then I cut off the cardstock in the middle, just so it doesn't stress the spine. I really try not to, although I do get close to that spine a lot when I'm doing stuff. So that's something I'm probably going to have to consider the next time I create one of these books, or I'm doing something like this, is to be a little more careful with the spine, because I'm already starting to see that I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to use another one of these books next year. I'm going to definitely try to get through this year with this notebook, but I may have to pivot to something different in the future. So we'll see how that goes. Anyway, I am getting this one down. This is Blood Mark. This is the second in the Legend Born series by Tracy Deonn. I absolutely love this series. I really, really enjoy that the setting is so very near my home. And so it's just very interesting listening to and reading about the landmarks that I know have passed, have seen all of my life pretty much. So yeah, anyway, I'm getting that down. I want to actually fit that M on the same line, so I pulled that sticker up, and then of course it was all weird and creased and stuff like that. So I end up I've printed out several versions of this, 2 stickers and then like one on printer paper, and I think I ended up using the printer paper in the end because I messed up both of the stickers. But that is neither here nor there. I am using these alphas I actually got as a freebie from when I ordered from scrapbook.com. So yeah, as you can see, I'm just trying to fit that M on that side of the book, and then I can continue on with the rest of getting the title down, which again is Blood Marked by Tracy Deonn. And so yeah, I decided to oh, sorry, my eye is killing me right now. Anyway, I am getting all the information down here as to the author, genre, publisher, all that kind of stuff there. And then I will start in on the rest of the decoration towards the bottom, which of course will feature the main characters in this book. So you have Brianna Matthews, I do believe that's her last name, aka Bree, and Selwyn Kane. And I end up using that cardstock that I pulled out before when I was auditioning whether I wanted to use black or red or blue. And I actually end up using it for the two main characters from the book down here, and it ends up working out perfectly because I used the AI beam generator again. So I have Brianna in red with her dragon because that is the color. And then Selvin with his magic, which is blue. So it was perfect. And I just did it opposite. So there's some contrast there. And so I get those two down. And then as you can see, there is a new character that comes on the scene up at the top. Um, and so I really enjoy Selwyn and Brianna's dynamic. They are, I don't even know how to describe their relationship. It was very contentious at first. However, Selwyn has finally come to the conclusion that she is not dangerous, at least not to his purposes or anything like that. And he's actually very awestruck and fascinated by her magic, her power, who she is, which is cool. And so he is now on a mission basically to do whatever he needs to do to protect her and for her to understand her magic, for her to beat the things that need to be beaten in the world that they are in. He has a lot of issues going on himself. In the interest of protecting Bree, he ends up basically getting his magic locked up or tempered, I should say. I don't want to delve into it because I don't really want to spoil anything for anybody in case they have not read Bloodmark yet. And it is, I'm not sure when the next book is coming out. Anyway, as I said, I'm just not, I'm trying very much not to spoil this because it is more on the newer side of things, as it's not a story that has been around for 25 years like One Piece. And so, yeah, anyway, there's so much going on in this story. It really is a roller coaster from start to finish. The thing that honestly kind of irritated, I gave this 5 stars. First of all, let me just say that. First, it's despite the things that irritated and annoyed me, this was a 5-star book. Okay, it was a roller coaster from beginning to end. It was good. It was riveting. It was engaging. It was. I don't even know how any more to describe this or whatever. But the thing that irritated me the most about this, though, was Brianna and her magical powers. There are like 2 or 3 different types of magic that she has, but she doesn't know how to control any of it. And I feel like Brianna, I feel like no one is making any kind of effort to help her understand her magic or help her use and harness her magic in a safe way. And it's like, what is the point of having all of this magic and being so powerful and so um, just otherworldly, supernatural, and you can't use it. It made absolutely no sense to me. And that nobody was trying to help her. And it wasn't until like towards the end of the book that she really made any kind of effort to try to understand what this magic was, and how to use it. And so that just was really irritating me throughout the entire book. Um, so yeah, but other than that, just so good. And then we had this new character on the scene, Velichez. I believe that was his name. They call him Valak for short. Um, Ancient magical being. Unfortunately, you find out that he was abandoned, and he was actually born to an enslaved woman. And so his story was um, sad or whatever. However, he is here, he is thriving, he is doing the thing, and I loved him. I want to see more from him in the 3rd book, so I'm hoping he definitely appears there. But overall, seriously, like you cannot go wrong with this book. It was so good from start to finish, and the way it ended. Talk about a cliffhanger. So I'm definitely anxious to get back into the story and see how it all ends. I do believe the 3rd book will be the last book. So yeah. And finally, it looks like she will be figuring out what her magic is and learning how to use it. And so moving on to the next few books, actually, I wanted to feature both of these books because I really love them, but they're by the same author and they kind of give the same feel. So I just decided to combine them on the two-page spread or whatever. So I'm starting out with the guest list, and I actually end up making a mistake here. Not here, but when I am stamping out the title of it, because I am featuring both the guest list and the hunting party by Lucy Foley. I had the pleasure of listening to the audiobooks through my Libby app this month, and they were so good. So good, in fact, that the next time I was in Sam's and I saw Lucy Foley, the Paris apartment, I ended up just purchasing it because now that I've experienced the audiobooks, I am very curious to know how I would like actually reading her book for myself. So yeah, anyway, I'm using this gold stamp pen, Dewdrop something or other, I was supposed to be stamping out the guest list. So this is where the mistake comes in. I start off stamping out the hunting part. And I'm like, that is not the book that you are featuring over here. So thankfully I made things easy for myself, and I put that on that thing there, and I will just shift that to the bottom of the next page, and then I will do the hunting party over there and the guest list on the right side here. And so all of the guest list information that I need is already down, and so I'm just going to go ahead and get into decorating for the hunting party, which was so good. Both of them were really good. I think I rated them both 4 stars, and as I said, I really enjoyed reading them or listening to them on audiobook because what I have noticed about Lucy Foley is she always has a cast of characters, so there's plenty of characters, but they are in the audiobook, everybody gets their own voice actor, and so you don't know who is who until the end. It is just, I don't know, it was so good the way it is. I will say that Lucy Foley is a master at creating atmosphere. Doesn't matter if it was in the hunting party or the guest list, she can create the atmosphere that she wants you to feel, and you do feel like you are there with those characters in the midst of it, as part of the group or whatever. And that's the theme so far that I've seen in both of her books, is that they are these parties, they have gone on to like this, like for some reason they're meeting, whether it's a wedding or a reunion, something like that or whatever. She creates this great atmosphere, and then, you know, at first you think that these characters are very normal or whatever, but then you start finding out the deeper depths of them and all the resentments and things that they harbor for each other and all of that kind of stuff. It is so good. I can't rave enough about these books, so I'm definitely looking forward to getting into more of her books, because they just chef's kiss Lucy Foley. So definitely enjoyed her. I did not, the hunting party, I wasn't, I had an inkling about who the thing was here, but it wasn't like immediate. I didn't latch onto it quick. And then the guest list, the only thing I knew about the guest list was that the fiance, who appeared to be this nice, kind, I just knew he was a douche. I knew it from the beginning that this guy was a douche. However, there are more things going on in this book that you don't realize until the end, and so it did kind of like, it did add some extra oomph there that you were not expecting or whatever, and so that was very interesting to me. Enjoyed it so much. Like, I really can't say enough about both of these books. They were really good. Definitely enjoyed listening to them on audio. So if you have the Libby app, try it out. Or if you just want to buy them, you know, hey, do it that way as well. Anyway, that is it for these books, and then I will just go into getting the rest of the books down that I read for the month of April. So the books I didn't enjoy as much, I just decided to give them a half page each. I did want to make sure I recorded them in the book, but I didn't want to give them as much space. And so I'm starting out with Flesh and Blood, no, Flesh and Bone by Jonathan Mayberry. This is the third in the Rotten Ruin series. I've had these books on my shelf for a long time. I read Rotten Ruin a long time ago. I loved it so much. I ended up getting all the other books and never read them. So I'm finally getting to those. I wish I had read them so I'd know, because I thought this would be a series that I'd want to keep. But by now I am over it. Okay, the first two books were really good. This third book, ugh, and I am currently reading the fourth one, and it's just not. I've decided it is not a story I want to keep on my shelf. Um, so yeah. Anyway, I'm getting everything down of the information, and then I do this line under it to separate that from my thoughts. And I decided that I don't like this. I do it again for the next one when I do Happy Place. I don't like the way it looks, so when I go to the next page and do my other two books, I will not include that line, and from now on, I will not be including it or whatever. And so I'm just getting my thoughts down about this. Basically, Nyx is getting on my nerves. I do not like her at all, not one bit, not even a little bit. And she is ruining this story for me. And then they had this whole thing, which is basic. I feel like he is recycling ideas, because then you, like in the second book, you had this religious zealot guy named Preacher Jack, and then now you run across this whole cult-like thing of reapers, or these people that call themselves the Night Church, who think that the dead or the zombies shall inherit the earth, and so they're killing all the people that are currently living, so the zombies can have it all. It's just weird and stupid, and then this guy claims he has all of these reapers, and I'm like, so how in the hell is he feeding all of these people, supplying all of these people? Like, it just didn't make sense to me or whatever. And then add on top of that, Nyx being an asshole. Ugh, I'm sorry, I can't do it. So, moving on to Happy Place by Emily Henry. Enjoyed this book. I gave it 3 stars. I did not like it. I did listen to the audio of Book Lovers sometime this year. Really loved it. I ended up giving it 5. So, it was actually my favorite book of whatever month I read it in. Um, Liked Happy Place, but it was just okay for me. You could tell that the main characters, Harriet and Wynne, they really did care for and love each other. It was just their communication that sucked. And honestly, I will say that the communication between everybody in this book sucked big time. Um, Harriet is the type of person, and I can identify, I can understand this, to shut people out because she doesn't want her problems to become their problems, or for people to pity her or anything like that. And then you had this one character who I felt like her intentions were good, but she was very conniving, and I wouldn't say conniving, I would say manipulative, um, in what she was doing and stuff like that. So it was just, it's just the communication in this book that needed more. And then there was this one character who supposedly is, one of the core group, but honestly, I just felt like, why are you even here? What is your purpose? So other than that, I enjoyed the story. It was good seeing the depth of the characters, and understanding, I guess, why the communication was not communicating the way it should have. So yeah, so which is okay for me. I'm looking forward to reading Funny Story, but I won't be reading that until it comes out on paperback, so it's going to be a while for me. Anyway, moving on, the next book that was in my queue was A Princess in Theory. This was an audiobook. I actually started it the month before, but I wasn't able to finish until the month of April. I love Alyssa Cole's writing. I do have several of her paperback books. And as you can see, I accidentally stamped it as a digital book, but it's an audiobook, so I had to go back and clean that up. And so you have the story of Naledi and Tabiso, and he is looking for his long-lost betrothed. She doesn't know that she is it because her parents moved to America when she was just a very tiny child, and then they ended up passing away in an accident. And so he's been looking for her, and of course she's getting these emails from this Nigerian prince or whatever. And of course in America we like, okay, scam, so she's not paying attention to it. Anyway, this is their story of how they come back together. They were like when they were little kids, they were really best friends or whatever. But she doesn't remember anything pretty much from her childhood. And so, yeah, this was such a cute, sweet story. I gave it 4 stars. And this is the Reluctant Royals #1. I've actually read like the other ones, so I'm definitely out of order. So they can be read alone, like as standalones. Or it doesn't have to be in series order for you to understand and get it or whatever. So it was a really good story, sweet romance between the two, and I enjoyed that Naledi got to rediscover who she was and still carry who she was, who she had developed her or evolved into in America to her new environment. So yeah, definitely enjoyed that. Moving on, the last one was no, I didn't. Okay, it was ebook, a digital book that I got from the library called Paranoid by Lisa Jackson. I've been wanting to try her out. Um, this again was just okay. It was a 3 star read for me. The I felt like, well, I only gave it 3 stars because I felt like the mystery was very simple. You could figure out who the killer was from. It just like it was very from the things that went down. It was very obvious on who it would be. However, I felt like the motivation was really dumb because the character was doing all of this stuff out of revenge for somebody he's never met in his entire life. Let's put it that way. So yeah, and then her kids. When I tell you, I wanted to reach through those pages and strangle her kids. No, and it was just vague. You don't get like complete answers for stuff. Like there's stuff that's still not answered, and I don't like that. Okay, like I need everything here. So that pretty much wraps this up. If you have any comments and questions about anything, please leave those below. I trust you all have been safe and well, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.